Rolling camera. And 3, 2, 1. Rolling sound. Let me get a clap. Who are you?
My name is Lauren Bond. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, native Atlantan. Not a lot of us can say that in Atlanta, so I'm proud.
What was your childhood like? And what were some important lessons that you learned then that you carry with you today?
My childhood was full of family, and I come from a very large family. My mother is the second youngest of seven, and my dad is the middle of five. And so I was always surrounded by lots of different people and lots of different perspectives. And that's something that's very important, something that has shaped me. Just learning how to have relationships with different types of people, and really just having those perspectives mold me as well.
How does a flower grow?
A flower grows from a plant, and it uh, and the petals open with the bud, and then it's ready to be germinated by the bee to make fruit.
Please give me a random number from 1 to 95.
1 to 95. Let's go with 22.
What is a relationship deal breaker for you? What is the biggest confirmation you can receive for a relationship?
What is the biggest confirmation? Well, a deal breaker is a liar. Because, I mean, you can't be in a relationship with someone that you don't trust. And as far as a romantic relationship or any relationship, like you can't maintain relationships with people you don't trust. Work relationships, friendships, romantic relationships. So, someone who is deceptive, and especially about things that they don't have to be deceptive about, because to me that tells me they don't like themselves. And it's hard to like someone when they don't like themselves, or maybe they don't know who they are, or um you want to have that authenticity, the to be able to be vulnerable, and you can't do that with someone who you're not even sure who they are because they can't tell you the truth.
Please give me another number from 1 to 95.
19.
Is what you're doing now what you always wanted to do growing up? If not, what did you dream to do?
Well, right now I work uh, as in operations for in a freight brokerage. So no, I don't think I knew what that was when I was little. If you asked me when I was little, what did I want to be at different points, I'd probably say something like archaeologist or famous singer or a mermaid, depending on the age. Um, and so yeah, so no, I'm not doing what I want to do when I was little.
Please give me another number from 1 to 100.
Let's go 1 to 95. Let's go with 70.
Is home a place for you or a feeling? Describe that place or describe that feeling.
I think home is a place and home is a feeling. Um, when you're at home, because home can be with people. Like some people have homes and it doesn't feel like a place that's welcoming. It doesn't feel like a place they can rest. For some people, home is not safe. So you definitely want to have the feeling of home is a safe, welcoming space, and filled with loved ones. And even if you are alone in your home, love is welcome there. That's how I would describe home.
Please give me another number from 1 to 95.
36.
What's the most spontaneous thing that you've done lately?
Lately? Ooh, Not much. Well, I would say it's not very spontaneous, but I was invited out with coworkers and I went. That's not something I would normally do, I don't think. Because it's it's post-pandemic, we're coming back to the office. I was working 1 day a week, now I'm working 3 days a week in the office, and so I was like, "Let me get to know my coworkers better, get drunk with them, throw it back a little bit." Nothing too crazy happened. It was a trivia night, but it was fun. So I'm glad I did it.
Please give me another number from 1 to 95.
Let's go with 80.
Is a life exclusive to pleasure with no suffering worthwhile?
Well, I think if you don't have the lows, how do you know if you're high? So I would say that, there's always some suffering. What is the depth of your suffering, of the suffering? I think makes a difference. I don't think there needs to be extreme pain. Nobody wants that, especially to experience it for a long period of time. But there has to be some kind of comparison. A plateau is a plateau, no matter how high or how low. So there has to be a comparison.
Please give me another number from 1 to 95.
Let's go with 11.
At what time in your recent past have you felt the most passionate and alive? How can you bring that passion to your everyday life?
I felt most passionate and alive when I exercise regularly. I like to swim, I like to play tennis, and I like to run, which are things that I'm currently out of practice. So when I have off days, I will go swimming, and I love to swim. Um, Physical activity it relieves a ton of stress for me. I'm just a happier person when I do it. When I was running regularly, I would get runner's highs, and those are awesome. Really, just pushing yourself to, uh, to your limit, and then keep going until you just really can't go anymore. Then you get that euphoric feeling from those endorphins that last for days. It's the best, and it's something that I really have to make more time for, my physical activity, because it's really linked to my mental well-being.
Please give me another number from 1 to 95.
Let's go with 44.
If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
If I could change one thing about myself, what would it be? On the shallow end, I would say I'd probably make myself taller. But if we're gonna, something more meaningful, I think that I would change. I would change my hesitancy. I tend to overthink sometimes, and I think I can get in my way with that. And Uh, yeah, just overthinking. Like, you want to be careful, but if it can really get in your way if you let it. You can think, talk yourself out of doing things that you should do, and I think that's something that I am guilty of.
Please give me another number from 1 to 95.
Let's try 57.
Is there something out there, a thought, an idea, a current event, or a fear that you find deeply unsettling?
Deeply unsettling. I mean, there are lots of things that I find deeply unsettling. The violence in the world, um, death, disease. Um, people and the motives of people. People can be evil, and just the evilness of people and the selfishness of people, and how I may be contributing to that indirectly through our economic system. Everybody talks about recycling. I recycle a little, but if I'm driving my car everywhere, which I have to do for my job so that I can live. It's just the whole system in which we live. But what is the answer to that? Eat local food, okay. What is the answer to that? You know, no more plastics, but there are some things where we would need plastic, and Where can we step in to make those changes where the system is sustainable? Because right now it's not sustainable, but there is a economic system in place where there are those who benefit and those who do not benefit, and the ones that are in charge make the decisions to keep a certain amount of people workers so that the workers can work for the benefit of those in control. It's a whole ecosystem that was created by man that's not on accident, it's very much on purpose, and that can be manipulated. And so if you're talking about real change, what does that look like? The system, the the part of me that feels the most honest is that you have to dismantle the whole system. But indirectly, I benefit from that system, even though I'm not, a 1%er globally. So it's a complicated issue because as someone who's a citizen of the United States who lives a fairly, middle class life, even though we're someone in my position may have a lot of debt and can't aren't a rich person, globally we're still very well off economically. And and it and that that worries me a lot about the haves and the have-nots, and where I stand and where I benefit and where I'm oppressed by that system on both ends of that. So that's something I think about a lot.
Please give me one final number from 1 to 95.
Let's go with number 3.
To what degree have you actually controlled the course your life has taken? And what have been some impactful choices that you have made along that journey?
Oh, okay. Um, m- what what choices have I made that have been impactful over my life? I think the most impactful choices that I've made were when I was younger and when I decided to take the opportunities that were given to me and not take things for granted. You know, I was a good student in school for the most part, and I've gotten a lot of opportunities that other people sometimes don't get, and I sometimes feel that I could have used some of those opportunities better. But as I like to say, it's not over till you're dead. So I can't go back, but I can, excuse me, move forward with trying to accomplish things that I want to accomplish. So the most impactful things that I've done are when I've taken those opportunities and I've learned. And I like to read, so I think that's something that helps me.
How do you find meaning in your daily experience? What propels you through life?
I believe happiness is a choice, and even if I'm not feeling my best, even if there are days when I don't want to do what I know I have to do, I choose to be grateful and to count the blessings that I do have, to remind myself that even if I don't, feel up to it, that I've still got a lot, to be grateful for, and choose to be, even if I don't immediately feel happy about it and about what I feel like I have to do that I may not want to do, um, just to remind myself that, you know, things could be worse. So, and that, I think that's important, to be grateful for what you have.
What has the experience of living been like for you to this point? What can people learn from your life?
What can people learn from my life? So if you were to follow me from 0 to where I am now, I would say what you learn is just to take advantage of your opportunities and not to take anything for granted. Um, I think that's what you could learn from my life. And to stand up for yourself. I think standing up for myself is something that um, I've had to learn to do. in different types of relationships. I mean, in some areas it's very easy for me to stand up for myself, but in certain relationships it has been hard, like certain familial relationships, especially like with my parents. It's something that I've learned to do, and in workspaces, stand up for yourself, because those you drop dead tomorrow, they're going to hire somebody else. So you got to get what you came for at your job.
So this is the big question and the reason we're here today.
Hmm.
Life is fleeting. We never know when it's our time. If these were your last words ever recorded, what would you say about your life and your legacy?
My life and my legacy. My life is one that I'm grateful for. Um, my legacy, who I am as a person, what I believe. I think it is to be knowledgeable, to be caring, to um, share with others your opinion, and to be truthful about what you believe, and to stand up for what you think is right or what you know is right, and to not be afraid of the backlash that may come when you express something that's not popular, and but it's important that you say. So I think if these were the last words that I had to say, I would say, I love you, family, you know, and, peace on earth.
So I'll ask you again, and finally, who are you?
I'm Lauren Bond. I'm from Atlanta.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap.